Welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to the Big Mouth Daily Live. You are very welcome. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. A very, very good morning to you all. And today we are going to talk about Doctor Who. We are going to talk about the cancellation of Manifest. And then if we've got time, we'll talk about Restore the Snyderverse trending and a few other DCEU issues as well. So shall we begin? Let's go. We very rarely talk about Doctor Who on this channel, and that's not purposely done because I love Doctor Who. I know most of the people who subscribe to this channel are DC fans, but I may have a couple of Doctor Who fans, and I would like to have more subscribing to the channel. Very interesting times with Doctor Who, of course. Jodie Whittaker has been doing Doctor Who now for 2 years. She joined the show with somewhat controversy because she's clearly a woman. There are some people who believe a woman should never play a doctor, the Doctor. There's some people who believe only a white male should play the Doctor. I don't believe that. I believe the Doctor can regenerate into an animal, an alien, a woman, anyone identifying as anything, right? I don't see an issue with that. But as with all entertainment, it's got to be entertaining, it's got to be original, and it's got to be a great version of the Doctor. Jodie Whittaker is a brilliantly talented actor. She's trained. She's done well in her career. You know, her CV is kind of well spread. She's never led a show, but that's not an issue. But there's been rumours that she's leaving after her third season, which they're shooting right now. Now, the media are suggesting that she will do 2 specials before she leaves next year to set up the 60th anniversary. It wouldn't surprise me after the 60th if they rest Doctor Who and blame the failure of the Chris Chibnall era on oversaturation. Of course, they did this with the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy. Saying, you know, we have too many Star Wars films. Let's reduce it. That's the problem. That wasn't the problem. You're creatively bankrupt, and that's the problem. Right, let's read this article from Screen Rant. This is by Thomas Bacon of Screen Rant. Doctor Who's Jodie Whittaker will reportedly leave after 2022 specials. British tabloids are reporting Jodie Whittaker will stick around for 2 Doctor Who specials in 2022, setting up an exciting 60th anniversary. A new rumour suggests Doctor Who's Jodie Whittaker will leave the show in 2022 after an abridged season 13 and 2 specials. Regeneration is the secret to Doctor Who's longevity, allowing the series a unique opportunity to reinvent itself every few years. It's not just that Doctor Who changes, it stars whenever the Doctor changes. It signals a change in character arc, tone and style. Although Jenna Louise Coleman, Clara Oswald stuck around after Matt Smith's Doctor regenerated into Peter Capaldi, and they don't always change the entire cast. If you knew anything about Doctor Who, Thomas, you would know that. For months now, there have been rumours swirling that Doctor Who star Jodie Whittaker is soon to leave the TARDIS. With the BBC refusing to comment, it would make sense, if only because it corresponds with the classic 3-season rule proposed by second Doctor actor Patrick Troughton, and followed by numerous other Doctors over the decades. The BBC's reticence has itself been taken as something for an indication suggesting there may well be something to these reports. British tabloid The Daily Mirror. By the way, whenever the Mirror reports something about Doctor Who, everything else they do is bullshit, but when they talk about Doctor Who, it normally comes true. So they definitely have a line with the BBC. The Daily Mirror is now reporting Whittaker will depart later than expected, claiming insiders have told them she will star in season 13 and 2 specials that will air in 2022, as ever bosses are staying tight-lipped about what they have planned. But with filming still ongoing, they clearly have plans for episodes to be playing out much later into 2022, one source reportedly told them. So there's still more to come for Jodie's Doctor. Strangely, the tabloid links Whittaker's upcoming departure with her not appearing on the front cover of the 2022 Doctor Who annual, but that appears to be nothing more than a summarise rather than featuring the Doctor's portrait, as is the norm. The cover instead shows the TARDIS. There has been much controversy about this. Much controversy. You know, Jodie Whittaker fans, and by the way, despite what the fandom menace will tell you, Jodie's Doctor has got fans. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia Glazers out. Yo, brother. Yo, Kurt, my man. So, yeah, she has got fans, right? It's not as popular as previous iterations of Doctor Who, but Peter Capaldi's era wasn't so popular either. We must remember that. And, you know, creatively, Peter Capaldi was let down. And Jodie Whittaker has been let down somewhat creatively in terms of her character development. We'll talk about that after I finish reading this article. The reports should be handled with caution, but it is important to note the Daily Mirror does have a history of Doctor Who scoops, as I've said. What's more, the timing of all this is particularly interesting. Current Doctor Who showrunner Chris Chibnall prefers to take his time with the series, with lavish production values, meaning there are fewer episodes airing less frequently. Season 12 finished in December 2018, with Season 13 not kicking off until What? Season 12 finished in December 2018. Did it? Did we have no Doctor Who in 2019? That's not true, is it? I don't know. With Season 13 not kicking off until January 2020. Thus, what? What did we just... But we're not in 2020. Thus, it's entirely possible 2022 could simply see I think you've got your dates wrong. No, you have got your dates wrong. Release of 2 specials rather than a full season, with Whittaker regenerating at the end, and 2023 ushering a new Doctor that will be quite appropriate, given 2023 is the Doctor Who's 60th anniversary. So basically, we're not going to be getting much Doctor Who. I mean, how many episodes does Chibnall do now? 6? Is it 8? 10? I can't remember. But it's not many, so we're not going to get much Doctor Who. This is the BBC's most prized possession, and they haven't shined it up. They haven't looked after it. Hopefully the British tabloids account is accurate in this account, because in truth, Doctor Who has largely failed Whittaker. I agree. Over the last couple of years, poor writing means she has failed to have a strong character arc. While flawed creative decisions, notably too many companions, it's not too many companions, it's the way they were underdeveloped, my friend, have undermined episodes' narrative flow. It would be good to see Whittaker given a little more time to shine, and it is to be hoped these specials will be accompanied by wise creative choices. Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath. And better writing. She deserves a chance to show the world why she is the perfect star for Doctor Who. Well, she was only cast because Chibnall worked with her in Broadchurch, by the way. But let's unpackage this before we reply to Kurt's message. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia Glazers out. I'm going good, brother. You going good? Of course, always going good. Well, in reality, I feel like shit. But when you do these things, you're larger than life, and you keep going, and you try and inspire people. Right. Let's unpackage the problems with Doctor Who. Doctor Who is a sci-fi series that started in 1963 with William Hartnell, a great doctor, Patrick Troughton. What's his name? What's his bloody name? Wurzel Gummidge. Oh my God. I can't fucking remember. John Pertwee, of course, legend. Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy. Paul McGann played it in a movie, and he's played the Doctor many times in the Big Finish audio adventures, and he's been a great Doctor. Then I suppose the timeline, if you focus on the timeline, John Hurt's supposed to be the next Doctor. No, Paul McGann, John Hurt, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, then our present Doctor, Jodie Whittaker. So, of course, as we've already said, Jodie Whittaker was met with much hate from many people. The opening marketing statement she made didn't help. Dear men, don't be afraid of us. I'm a feminist. That didn't help in kind of welcoming her as the Doctor. Also, she spoke about appealing to little girls rather than talking about, the nuance of her character and what she was looking to do with the role. Of course, there's nothing wrong with appealing to little girls. It's great, by the way, that young women have a female hero to look up to. But when you purposely try and drive away the current audience to bring in a new age audience of young females, instead of saying, you know what, let's bring in the young females alongside the current audience as well. That would give us a bigger platform. No, these extremists are so insane, they want to drive away the people who support them. It's insane, right? So all this, of course, created bad feeling. So as I've always said, I don't care who plays the Doctor, right? But the nuance of the writing, well, there has been no nuance. Season 11, Jodie's first season, was a very dull season. He was trying to take it back to the kind of template of the original William Hartnell series, kind of more low key, but the production values were beautiful, shooting with 4K cameras, beautiful directing. We had a new composer. Murray Gold was our previous composer. He was a great composer. He didn't need replacing, but that was part of their inclusive strategy, I'm afraid. We lost one of the best composers in the world because of inclusion. And when you do that on that premise, there's going to be a problem. So he underdeveloped Jodie Whittaker's character, Jodie Whittaker's doctor's character, basically having her say publicly that she was more like David Tennant's doctor. Surprise, surprise. He's one of the most popular doctors ever, so that's not a surprise either. And so that was a problem. The companions were underdeveloped. I mean, you've got someone like Bradley Walsh as Graham, and he's very soft-spoken. Yeah, Doc. Yeah, Doc. That's not Bradley Walsh. That's not why you cast Bradley Walsh. My name's Bradley Walsh. I'm a bit of that. That's what you need. Otherwise, why bother casting Bradley Walsh? I thought Bradley Walsh was going to come in. He's a cancer survivor, the character. I thought we were going to get a John Locke from Lost Element, thinking he's maybe invincible and believing in faith over the Doctor's science. I think that would have been an interesting piece of nuance, but they didn't do that. But in season 12, they came in, and they hinted towards this in season 11 about the Timeless Child arc, which I was always very interested in. So they started kind of unraveling that arc. And it was very interesting. We even met another version of the Doctor, played by Jo Martin, who ended up, being disguised as a human, then being revealed as the Doctor, a Doctor we've never met before. It was a great episode, that reveal. We had Captain Jack Harkness. I don't think we'll see John Barrowman's Captain Jack for a while, if ever again, because obviously some accusations have been made about him from behind the scenes, from the Doctor Who show, by the way. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but I forgot the name of the episode. But Jo Martin's reveal as the Doctor was fantastic. Now, if Chris Chibnall remains as the showrunner, which is more than likely, I would imagine Jo Martin will be the next Doctor. But we don't know where she comes in the timeline. Now, there's a theory from Doctor Who fans that actually she comes just after Patrick Troughton, because there's a gap there, which would be very interesting. But she could just be the next Doctor, traveling through the timeline. So her reveal was absolutely fantastic. It was great. It was one of Chibnall's best episodes. It was sensational, and I loved it. I actually prefer season 12 to season 11. We were introduced to Sacha Dhawan's brand new Master. Nobody knows how the Master can still be alive, because basically Michel Gomez's Master died at the end of Peter Capaldi's era, and we know that, what's his name? God, I forgot the bloody guy who played the Doctor now, one of my favourite actors from Life on Bloody Mars. But anyway, his Doctor was injured, but we don't know if he was alive. Maybe he had enough time to regenerate. That makes sense. Anyway, he comes in as the Master, and he starts saying to the Doctor, everything you know to be true is a lie. So it was very intriguing. Then we found out that she, in fact, is the Timeless Child, and the Doctor is not from Gallifrey, and she's had many, many regenerations and lives, being different versions, being different, minorities and things like that, which triggered a few people as well. So there was kind of some commentary there, because the Doctor Who, pre kind of Russell T Davies, was being accused of being a sexist and a racist show. And I think what Chris Chibnall here is trying to say is, look, we're not so bad. We did have minorities playing the Doctor. It's a cheap way of being inclusive, I suppose. So a lot of fans were very angry about the Timeless Child reveal, because by making the Doctor the Timeless Child and saying she's not from Gallifrey and she's from this mystery world, that she's the first person to ever regenerate, and then they stole her ability, they used her ability to regenerate to create the Time Lords. This is the breaking of canon. Now, it is my opinion, if you break canon for something that actually works, I'm fine with it. I've always said, you cannot judge this until you see what Chibnall's doing with this. The Master could be lying. He, in fact, could be the Timeless Child, and he corrupted the Matrix, which was giving the Doctor disinformation. Now, I believe if she is the Timeless Child, that could be very interesting, in fact. It could take us to new, exciting directions. So I'm not as triggered about this. as everybody else is. As I said, Chris Chibnall hasn't done Jodie Whittaker any favours. She hasn't been given the personality of the Doctor. Now, that's interesting, because in her first episode, The Woman Who Fell to Earth, in fact, Jodie seemed very like the Doctor. That version was great, and I wish we continued with it after the second episode. But slowly but surely, she wasn't the Doctor anymore. She was just an actor playing the Doctor, a bad impression of the Doctor's self. That's not her fault. She can only do what she's being told to do. She can act. We saw in the first episode she did. She was a great Doctor, and she could have continued being a great Doctor. But unfortunately, Chris Chibnall had other ideas. He underdeveloped his companions and his Doctor and made them very, very uninteresting. But in season 12, her second season, the Timeless Child arc did make her a little more interesting. She was a little bit more brash with her companions and basically saying, look, I've lived all these lives. You don't know me. And kind of, it became quite interesting. It didn't make the companions any more interesting, but it made her a more interesting Doctor. So season 12 was a marked improvement, and I kind of enjoyed it, if I'm being honest. Sacha Dhawan is an excellent master, one of the best I've seen. I don't think we've ever had a bad master, by the way. You look at Missy, played by Michelle Gomez, a female version of the master. That's how you do a female version that's regenerated into a female that's always been a man, right? That's how you do it. It's interesting. It's unique. Michelle did a great job. Steve Moffat did a great job developing and writing that character. I think Stephen Moffat would have done a much better job with a female Doctor, because at least he would have been trying to make her interesting. It shouldn't be a case that you should have to make the female version the best ever to make people like her because she's a woman. That's not the point. Every version of the Doctor must be unique and interesting. The Doctor's like this mad scientist, full of balls of energy, eccentric. This Doctor simply isn't interesting or eccentric enough. That's the problem with her. That does not lay at Jodie's feet. Jodie doesn't deserve any hate, nor does Chris Chibnall. It's not about giving hate to anyone. It's about saying, do you know what, Chris? Maybe you could have made more of an effort to make her more of an interesting Doctor. And you didn't. You just said, hey, she's going to be like David Tennant. It was cheap and it was lazy. But the directing and the camera work, the way they make the show, aesthetically, it's probably the most superior version of Doctor Who ever, if you look at it in that way. But it's just a shame. But I will say that season 12 is an improvement. Now, so we're going to get, we got this season 13 coming up. I don't know when this is coming out. Is it January of this next year, or is it in the autumn? I can't even remember when Doctor Who's coming out, by the way. So I'm all for them doing season 13 and then her having 2 more specials, and that kind of teases the 60th anniversary, which she would probably be in anyway. Now, obviously, are these specials the 60th anniversary special? I would imagine so, because that's in 2022 and the anniversary is in 2023, right? So she would have to come back again, and hopefully they could get every version of the Doctor that's still alive to come back to settle Chris Chibnall's arc as well. This would have to be about the Timeless Child and unraveling all the mysteries of Chris Chibnall's arc. By the way, I congratulate Chris Chibnall on the Timeless Child arc. I kind of like it. I think it's interesting. Of course, there's some alt-left commentary there, and there's some inclusive commentary. I don't mind that so much, and I think if people just gave it a chance and didn't judge it, you broke canon, I hate you, give it a chance. Is Jodie Whittaker one of my favourite Doctors? No. Is that Jodie Whittaker's fault? No. Is that Chris Chibnall's fault? Yes. Because he didn't do what the other showrunners since 1963 have done, make each Doctor unique and individual, with little kind of nuances, I suppose, that kind of remind you that character is still the Doctor. In my mind, it doesn't matter who plays the Doctor, what gender, what identification. Just give these actors a fighting chance. If Joe Martin becomes the next Doctor, I don't want to hear the media and Chibnall saying the first black Doctor, the first black Doctor, the first black female Doctor. We can see she's black and female. Great. I'll celebrate that. We can see it. But what we want to see is this version of the Doctor, the first black female as well, which is very important, by the way, being done justice to. Don't just say, oh, she's a black female, that's enough. No, she has to be the Doctor. She's a great actor. A lot of people prefer her to Jodie Whittaker, although we haven't had seen enough of her to judge her. That's very important. But I think she could be a really good Doctor. And I have no issue with Jo Martin being the next Doctor. That would really excite me. But of course, they could rest Doctor Who after the 60th anniversary. That would be a shame. They would probably blame us and oversaturation, because the entertainment industry never want to blame themselves. Look what's happened with Zack Snyder. It's not Warner Brothers' fault. It's not the previous leadership that got it wrong over the DCEU. It's all Zack Snyder's fault, isn't it? The truth is, it's both their faults. So there are my thoughts on Doctor Who. Now, are there any manifest fans in the house? Because we've had 3 seasons and now it's been cancelled at NBC. I have never seen this show. For me, it just felt like a bad, lost ripoff. I hate shows who focus on the families as well as the characters and the kids and all of that. I find that boring. That's why I like Lost, right? Because you're a bunch of strangers on an island and they don't have to go back at home at night to have tea and bore us with their families. I hate families. Families bore me on TV and in drama, right? I prefer individual characters because I see people as individuals and unique. And that's what Lost did. Lost was amazing because it opened up the soul of each character with its flashbacks every episode and flash forwards. That's why I liked Lost. So let's check this out about Manifest, because I'm sure there's some people out there who will be interested. I know some members of my family watch it, so we're going to give it a read. Manifest cancelled after 3 seasons at NBC by Elsie Schaffer of Variety. Manifest has been cancelled at NBC after Variety has confirmed. The news comes as the supernatural drama has been released on Netflix, where it currently sits at number 1 in the streamer's US top 10. However, sources tell Variety that the show is hoping to find a new home elsewhere. Well, that's very, very good news, probably Netflix. The single-camera series, I didn't know it was a single-camera series, generally produced favourable ratings, particularly in its first season, during which 3 additional episodes were added. Manifest, produced by Warner Brothers Television and Universal Television, so this could go actually on HBO Max, was created by Jeff Rake and originally sold as a 6-season plan. The series premiered in September 2018 and follows the crew and passengers of a commercial plane who suddenly reappear after being presumed dead for 5 years. As they reintegrate into society, the passengers discover that their family members and friends are not the same as before, and neither are they, as they begin to experience visions of the future, also known as callings. Actually, quite interesting. I might check it out. Manifest stars Melissa Roxburgh, Josh Dallas, Athena Karkanis, J.R. Ramirez, Luna Blaze, Jack Messina, Parveen Kaur, Matt Long, and Holly Taylor. Recurring characters include Alfredo Narciso, Victoria Katengla, Adrian Lennox, Daniel Sanjata, Francesca Frandin, blah, 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 along with all these cast members, which I wish I didn't start reading out. But yeah, so Manifest has been cancelled at NBC. Well, you can't trust NBC. Wasn't it them who had Constantine, one of the best DC shows ever made, and they fucking well cancelled it. Yes, so Constantine is dead over at NBC, but they're looking for a new home. But as it's part of Warner Brothers Television, just stick it on HBO Max. I'm sure people would love to see it. So that's Manifest cancelled at NBC. And they're your entertainment headlines that we haven't covered in previous videos. I did like 3 pre-recorded videos last night. I did Big Mouth Live, where we broke the news that Grant Gustin is going to cameo in the Flash movie. Very exciting. Andy Muschietti revealed portion of the Flash costume. Very exciting. And an unverified rumor that Margot Robbie could direct Gotham City Sirens. If you're interested in that conversation, start having a conversation about it. Ask me some questions about it. But I also want to talk about Restore the Snyderverse trending. There's been some very interesting conversations about Restore the Snyderverse and its community and its director, and Ray Fisher. And I think really on my platform, it's been very, very anti that community to a point. And I think that we've all kind of grown fed up of this. Yeah, but what about Superman the movie? What about Superman 2? He killed these people, and Tyler Hoechlin killed people. It just triggers people. It's like when I talk about the alt-left narrative, where to talk about their points of view, they put down men and things like that. And that just triggers people. And when some of the Snyderverse fans do this, it also upsets people. But I am a fan of the Snyderverse. I fought to restore the Snyderverse. I'm very passionate about Zack's DC movies. I think they're great, unique. I think his 3 movies are leaps and bounds better than anything the MCU have done. Let's be absolutely clear about that. The MCU wouldn't even know to come anywhere near the quality of Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman and Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. You can make fun of them as much as you want. No, they're not made for a broader mainstream audience, but the Snyderverse movies are fucking amazing. They're epic. They look beautiful. The performances are great. Zack Snyder did something amazing with those 3 movies. And I want to see Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. And whatever the rights or wrongs are from the studio and Snyder himself, I want to see more of Snyder's universe, because Snyder makes great movies, unique movies. As I said, they're not for a broader audience, right? But they have a fandom. When you trend with Restore the Snyderverse with over 100K tweets, that tells you something, and I support that. Whatever I say, and I have a balanced opinion about Snyder and the WB situation, of course I do. I don't like the way Ray Fisher's been going after Walter Hamada and Warner Brothers. I liked what he was doing at first. I thought the investigation was right and it needed investigating. And obviously Warner Brothers are not going to expose themselves. And there's been an alleged cover-up. And I get that, and I'm not denying that. But I want to be clear as well. Like I said in my pre-recorded video about this, I can stand the multiverse strategy, the Hamadaverse, as well as fight for Restore the Snyderverse. You don't get the right to tell me that I can't do both, because first and foremost, I'm a DC fan. And I actually think what Warner Brothers Pictures are doing with the multiverse strategy is right and exciting. And also when you hear Grant Gustin's going to cameo in the Flash movie, of course, that's very exciting. But that doesn't mean I hate Zack Snyder. It doesn't mean I hate every Zack Snyder fan. I don't hate anyone, actually. I don't have hate in my heart. I can disagree with people. Ronnie Dodge, hey, mate. Morning, Ronnie. You missed all the boring stuff that you wouldn't be interested in. I was talking about Doctor Who, and I was talking about a show being cancelled, whose name I've already forgotten. But apparently, Manifest, that's it. Manifest has been cancelled, and they're looking for a new home. We're just talking about the Snyderverse. So, yeah, I am a fan of those 3 movies. And when you get over 100K tweets, hashtagging Restore the Snyderverse. Now, of course, what helped yesterday was that Man of Steel, it was 8 years since it was released in theatres. I watched the film again while I was having a shave and a shower. It's a great movie. People really, really want a sequel to that movie. People really, really want Henry Cavill to cameo in this multiverse strategy in the Hamadaverse. And I think that's going to happen. But will he ever get his sequel that he was robbed from? Now, personally, ideally, I'd like Christopher Nolan and David Goyer to write the sequel. Christopher Nolan's a bit not very happy with the studio, but I think David Zaslav and Discovery will kind of put a bandage on that gaping wound, hopefully, so we can still have Christopher Nolan's genius over at Warner Brothers. That's very, very important. Sanders and Reviews, do you think Henry will help write the script? I think they're going to be very inclusive with their artists. If Margot Robbie is indeed directing the Gotham City Sirens, then you would think, but I think they may start listening to their more higher up actors. I think maybe he'll give some ideas. I mean, if Jason Momoa can do it, a well-educated man like Henry Cavill could certainly do a good job with that. Ronnie Dodge, out of them 3 movies, I only want a Man of Steel 2. That's it. Well done, Ronnie, because that takes me to my next point. I think there's more chance of a Man of Steel sequel than restoring the Snyderverse, sadly, in its entirety. But I'll take that. I think people would be very happy with that. As I say, Christopher Nolan and David Goyer wrote a great script, and it was perfect because Snyder did what he does best, directing. He's not a writer, not really. But as a director, as a visual storyteller, he's great. So you've got great writers like David Goyer and Christopher Nolan, giving the story, being creative, and you've got Snyder putting the visual story out there. That was the perfect storm. That's why so many more people love Man of Steel to Batman versus Superman. I think that's how it works. So I think realistically, you've got more chance of, Henry Cavill's Superman sequel than restoring the entire Snyderverse. That's how I see that. David Zaslav said Superman's very important to him and he wants him front and center, as I do, because I love Superman and he's my favorite character. And so you've got a chance. We've got a chance. David Goyer has written DC Comics before. He knows these characters. That's why Man of Steel also is such a great movie. They gave us the best supervillain in comic book movie history. I don't think there's a better villain than Michael Shannon's Zod, because he's not evil. He's not evil. His one priority is to bring back his world. All he ever wanted to do was protect his people. He killed a bunch of politicians on Krypton because he believed that they didn't look after his people. His heart's in the right place. His actions are wrong, of course, but his heart's in the right place. He says it to Superman near the end of the movie. All I care about is protecting my people, the people of Krypton. I know it's not a copy and paste of what he said. And he goes, my actions, no matter how harsh or cruel, are for the good of my people. Sam Jam Reviews. I want Brainiac to be the main villain. Ronnie Dodge, but don't have Snyder doing it. Give another director a chance. Well, if he's not writing the film, Ronnie, and we can have his excellent visuals, I'd be quite happy for Zack to do it. Because can anyone make a movie look better than Zack Snyder does? I don't think he will, by the way. Obviously, the divide between him and the studio is a gaping chasm, but anything can change. I mean, studios can change their mentality where money's involved and we're getting new leadership. So that's possible. But more than likely, it won't be Zack Snyder and it won't be Christopher Nolan and David Goyer writing this. I think it will be other people. I think it'll be somebody else directing it, potentially J.J. Abrams, but not necessarily. It could be anyone. So I think that Henry is back in the game as Superman. I think there's no question about that. Ronnie George, I can't get over. We got our first look at the Flash costume, and Grant is in the movie yesterday. Yes, it was very huge. It was a very huge live stream. All those things developing on it was very exciting. Ronnie George, what do we have today? I wonder, Lowell. Wouldn't it be good if we get news every day? Maybe the Hollywood Reporter could confirm Margot Robbie directing Gotham City Sirens. We will see. That will be an exciting confirmation because it's unconfirmed, it's unverified at this moment in time. But we will see about that. Anything is possible. So I do expect Henry Cavill to return as Superman in some form. Look, he's a very popular Superman. He's a very popular casting choice. So when you're that popular, people will bring you back. Look at Warner Brothers Pictures bringing back Ben Affleck's Batman because he's a very popular Batman. And because we've got a multiverse, he can be involved as well as Pattinson, as well as Keaton. And that's the exciting thing about the multiverse strategy. Of course, you can have all different versions. And it's amazing. And this is what Andy Muschietti has said, that they're going to make the whole multiverse canon. Every version that you've seen in the past will be canon. That's a beautiful thing with so much potential. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't say your version doesn't count. It means every fan gets represented. And that's the point here. It's good business. Sam Dejan Reviews, did you see the art of Man of Steel 2? I did, yes, I liked it. Not some great art yesterday of Man of Steel 2. Very exciting. The fans really want to see another movie. And who knows? Who knows? Anything is possible. I hope so. I think that's what Henry deserves. He's not getting any younger, by the way, so they need to do it as soon as possible. I think they will. I think we're back in with this version of Superman, but we're also going to have a Superman of color, which is fine. We've also got Brandon Routh's Superman potentially coming back. We've got, obviously, Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. And as I say, I'm quite confident about Nicolas Cage actually putting on the cape as well in the Flash movie because we're going to get a lot of things there. Very, very exciting. It is, it's an unprecedented time to be a DC fan. I really do believe this because the strategy, the multiverse strategy they've implemented, it basically says anything's possible. And to the consumer and to the fans, there's nothing better than telling them everything, anything is possible. Because in the past, it's been, no, That's not part of the universe. That's in the past. Forget that. But now they're saying everything's canon. That means every fan can say, you know what? My favorite live action DC version can now be canon in this multiverse strategy. And there's no reason why anything can't be part of the canon of the multiverse strategy. Ronnie Dodge, and we have a DCEU version of Supergirl at last year. Very important. Very, very important. I think she should have shown up in Man of Steel. Not for too long, just a cameo or something. Maybe she could have been on Krypton before it exploded or something like that. I think they missed the boat there. But we're guessing one now. Sasha Calle will be a great Supergirl. And sooner rather than later, we will get a costume reveal or a tease at least. These are very exciting times. Not to forget, of course, that the Flash movie doesn't release till the end of 2022. So we've got a long, arduous wait. But the build-up to it and the teases and the trailers and all the stuff we're going to get at DC Fandom, of course, is awesome. Bring on DC Fandom, because after James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, that's the next event to look forward to, and they're going to be marketing the shit out of it. I can guarantee you that. So do we think that Margot Robbie can do a good job at directing Gotham City Sirens? Because I don't think she's directed anything before. And this is a unique situation. I wouldn't be down for this if James Gunn wasn't involved. I really wouldn't. It'll be interesting. It's a rumor at this point. It's an unverified rumor, so nobody really knows if it's true. It's a big opportunity for her. But then again, I'd like that. And I'd like Jason Momoa one day to try his hands at directing Aquaman, and maybe Henry Cavill if he wanted to do directing. If the DCEU is going this direction, giving its leads, more of a say over things, that makes them more invested, and, that will keep them in the roles for longer, which is exactly what we want. Because most of the people playing lead superheroes in our franchise have got other projects, so the more invested they are in the DC live action universe, the less other projects they'll take on, and it means we can get our projects out there quicker. So I think that's very, very important as well. So I'm very interested in seeing actors being given more responsibility where they look for it. I do like actors who are invested in more than just saying their lines. I always like that. Henry Cavill's very knowledgeable about Superman. He's really done his research. He knows what versions he'd like to do in live action as well, which I think is great. He's had a lot of discussions on his live streams as well, which is great. Ronnie Judge, can't wait for Fandom, but nervous that some Snyderverse will bombard Restore the Snyderverse on their Twitter during the event. Well, Ronnie, you can't stop people doing that, I'm afraid. They probably will, and they'll probably hope that there's some kind of announcement at DC Fandom. But as long as they're not being toxic against the studio and actors and things like that, I really don't mind if they do Restore the Snyderverse. I hope it trends for them, because we're getting the event. We know what's going to be revealed. We know what they're talking about. There is a slate now. There is a way of moving forward. It's very exciting. And if people want to hashtag Restore the Snyderverse, I certainly support them for doing that. As long as people aren't toxic, and the angry things we've seen and stuff, Warner Brothers and all that, I'm not interested in that. Yeah, but people obviously can do a hashtag if they want. That's nothing really to be nervous about, in my opinion. But we're certainly at a unique time where none of us really know what's going to happen next or how these films are going to be, how it's all going to work out. I do think we're better off with people like James Gunn than without them. He's very proficient. He has experience with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He knows how to hype things up. He knows how to do teasers in films and cameos. So these are very exciting times as well. And of course, Ronnie Dodge, yep, agreed. Look, I'm not the biggest Restore the Snyderverse fan, but if they're respectful, fair enough. Exactly. It's just about choosing your words carefully in life and not triggering other people. They're going to keep on fighting. They're not going to go anywhere. These are a determined bunch of people, for sure, and they're not going away. And that determination, for me, from my perspective, must be respected. Where people don't give up and keep on fighting, I think that's very admirable, in my opinion. Very admirable. Because they could easily just give up and toss a beer can over their shoulders and say, enough's enough. But last night proved that there's still people fighting for this thing, and that's pretty awesome. Again, I foresee a Man of Steel movie before the resurrection of the whole Snyderverse. Restoring the Snyderverse is complicated because basically Warner Brothers are using those actors for their own projects. So how do you do both? How do you put it in its own little corner, in its own little box? It's complicated because schedules, they're a problem as well. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia Glazed up. No news, Manchester United today, brother. Yeah, it's evening where you are, my friend. So we're in the morning. There's not much going on at the moment. The Glazers have spoken, have said that Gary Neville has some very good ideas. And yes, they said he has been harsh on them, but they think he's got good ideas and they're willing to listen. They also have promised a great expansion plan for Old Trafford, and they want to revitalise their transfer policy as well. So it's looking like the pressure and the demonstrations from the fans is really working, Kurt, and I'm really happy about that. I just hope they stick to their word. Because Manchester United needs revitalising in terms of inside the club and outside the club. It's been a very hard time since Sir Alex left. How to replace an entity like that? Very, very difficult, very. And any club would have struggled. How we've even won 2 trophies since he's gone is pretty good. I mean, that's not a high expectancy level because we haven't won the league or anything, but we're improving it slowly. Ronnie Dodge, did you see Isa Gonzalez tweets yesterday about a big week for her and something with Magic hinting at Zaitana? So who's Isa Gonzalez? Is she playing Zaitana? Oh, you're saying that she could be cast as Zaitana. I don't know who she is, though. But I hope we do get some confirmation on who's playing her. I always thought it might be a Latino. Sounds like a Latino name. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia Glazers out. Old Trafford Heat needs repairs. 11 million, brother. Yeah, they do need repairs, and I think that the Glazers now know that the fans are not going to tolerate anything else. Oh, Ronnie George using Baby Driver. I've never seen it, but I do know that Baby Driver is a well-respected movie, so that's a great piece of casting. Sanders and review. She was in Godzilla vs. Kong. Interesting. I can't remember her in that film. I did see it, but if someone sends me a picture to my Twitter feed, I can have a look at her, and then we can discuss it. But yes, Zaitana is a great character. I hope she's done justice. Of course, this is very exciting, having characters like Zaitana and Blue Beetle being developed, and they're all part of this league. And what about Stargirl having Alan Scott's Green Lantern's daughter, the daughter of Green Lantern, who's also got a ring? That's very exciting. She's going to be part of this multiverse now as well, probably part of the Multiverse Justice League as well. Very exciting. Sandra Hughes, will we see Swamp Thing be in the DCEU? I think eventually someone will bring Swamp Thing back for sure. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia Glazed out. Thanks for you for Manchester United news, brother. You're very welcome. Sam the Jam reviews. We will see Miss Martian. Will we see Miss Martian in the DCEU? Well, she's another character that would have to be developed, but you can't do everything all at once. But eventually, hopefully. Ronnie Dodge sent you a pic, mate, on Twitter. Thank you. Oh, look. John Campier liked my tweet. This is what I said. I think I saw it about 15 times referring to Man of Steel in the theatre. Hopefully Henry gets some cameos and maybe at least one more movie. And he liked it. So that means John Campier would like a Man of Steel sequel. He loves Man of Steel, by the way. I don't think he's a BVS fan. Some celebrity was showing off about delivery. Oh, no, sorry. That's my conversation with someone. Oh, that's her. Wow. Wow. Let's see what she says. Oh, no, she doesn't say anything. But she's teasing that something's going to happen about Magic this week. I mean, that could be anything. I'm not sure if she said it's DC related. So this is her. So she's obviously stunning. I've never seen her be in anything, but clearly if she was in Baby Driver, as you guys are saying, and why wouldn't that be true, by the way? Of course she was in Baby Driver. Then I think she must be very talented artistically as well. So basically we're looking at another Wonder Woman here because Gal is stunning in a classy way, in a classic 1940s way, rather than, in a trashy way, right? And obviously, this young woman can act as well. I think this would be brilliant, and I look forward to seeing her. By the way, this would be magical casting. So very interesting indeed. Wow. And I've never heard of her. Ronnie Dodge, people, I mean the SJWs, are against her being casted because she did blackface at 15. Oh, right. Well, if it's controversial and they don't like it, even better. Sam Dejan reviews. Will we see Aqualad in the DCEU? I hope so. Maybe even introduced. But can Aquaman have a son already? Who knows? Aqualad's his son, right? So who knows? Anything's possible, right? So I love Aqualad, and I think that would be awesome. So who knows, Sam, in the future, if you're patient, just be patient. Patience is a virtue. I would love Aqualad in the DCEU. Right, about the young actress doing the blackface when she was 15. Listen, those kind of things are not done to be racist. Whether you deem them as racist or not, they're not done to be racist. They're done by people who are ignorant, not in a bad way, but ignorant with a lack of knowledge, right? Who don't understand how people feel about it. So I'm not going to castigate the young woman for doing that. So bring it on. And I hope that she is now the, Zatanna, because the next Zatanna, because we've had Zatanna in Smallville and she was great. So if she's the next Zatanna, I think she'll be wonderful. And I don't care what people think. And I hope we do get this kind of casting. And I'm sure that she's already apologized for that incident, right? So I'm more than happy for her to play Zatanna, Ronnie. Ronnie Dodd, if she's casted, I'm so happy that Latinos are getting some representation. SJWs are going to be pissed. I'm going to enjoy this. Sam Dejan reviews. Will we see what? Etrigan, the demon in the DCEU. I don't know who that is, Sam. Ronnie Dodge, peed off. Sam Dejan reviews. I want Madame Xanadu in the DCEU. I don't even know who that is either. I'm a DC fan, but I don't know everyone. As I say, Sam, it's all very well saying I want this and I want that and I want the other. They can't produce it for you like in 5 minutes to say here. So it's patience. He's part of the Justice League Dark. Well, you may get him. We're getting a J.J. Abrams Justice League Dark series, so your dreams may come true. Again, so Sam Dejan review. She's a member also of the Justice League Dark. Well, as I just said, we're getting that. So if you're patient, we may get that in time. Ronnie Dodge, they want to moan about blackface. They should watch old UK comedies. Yeah, I don't really want to get into this issue. I don't want to get myself in trouble. But at the end of the day, it's not something that bothers me too much. People make mistakes. As I say, it's a lack of knowledge. It's ignorance more than being blatantly racist. I think we can forgive people for their misdemeanors and move on. That's what life's about, forgiveness and compassion. I've done things I've been forgiven for. We all have. Let's just move on. Let's not worry about it. Let's hope she's cast because she looks like the next Gal Gadot. Sam Dejan reviews. I want to see Donna Troy in Wonder Woman 3. That would be awesome. That's something I would love to see, Sam. There's lots of characters they can do, but they can't just do everything right now. It's patience. Let's do this multiverse strategy. Let's do this short little reboot, this mini little reboot they're doing, and let's see how successful they are first before we, walk before we can run. Ronnie Dodge, she apologised ages ago, but SJW want to cancel everybody who made a mistake. Yes, I know, but the problem is nobody knows their mistakes. So when they come out with their mistakes, they're cancelled by their own friends, and it's hilarious, right? A world like that, and obviously SJWs, but kind of are in denial about cancel culture. They reckon it doesn't exist. Of course it does. All they say is, well, you do something wrong. Well, everyone does something wrong, you nut jobs. So why not? Let's just be forgiving. You say that your political kind of nuance is about forgiveness and kindness, but it's not, because as soon as someone does something a little bit wrong, you want them to be walking naked in the sand, right, on the hot pavement. So please don't talk to me about wrongdoings. You know all about wrongdoings, don't you, Hollywood? Everyone's got skeletons in their closet, right? Forgiveness, compassion. That's what's important here. So I was about to kind of repeat the headlines. Oh, I remember them now. So our headlines today is that Manifest has been cancelled at NBC. It's looking for a new home. And Jodie Whittaker looks like we'll be playing the Doctor after season 13 for 2 specials. And then she'll leave. And that will be the build-up for the 60th anniversary in 2023. Ronnie Dodge, just thinking with the multiverse, a version of Zeus will be alive. So maybe he will be in Wonder Woman 3. Diana meeting her father. I would love that. A whole film with Diana and Zeus. Because we've done Hippolyta, right? And she's great. Maybe we could have Hippolyta, Zeus, and Wonder Woman working together in one movie. I think that would be a lot of fun. Sam Jan Hughes. I saw Batwoman. John Diggle was in the episode. Yeah, I love John Diggle. I loved his relationship with Stephen Amell and Green Arrow. I know that was about identity politics, that episode, so I skipped it. But I am excited about seeing him in the other shows, including Superman and Lois. But because I knew that episode was about identity politics and it's Batwoman, I didn't bother. And that's the thing. I don't have to be angry about identity politics being referenced everywhere I look, in real life and in our entertainment and fiction. I just don't have to watch it. And that's it. That's great. Because people who keep on boring on about identity politics will step over a starving child. Something that Sir Bob Geldof didn't. My point with Sir Bob Geldof is he's a white man who pretty much healed the world. Ethiopia, massive famine problem. He raised so much money for those people, for those black people, by the way, right? He went over there. He spoke to the people. He's not a virtue signaler. In fact, he's a no-nonsense guy. So next time someone on Twitter talks about white men, I'll remind you of Sir Bob Geldof. And then I'll ask you, how many other celebrities have done what Sir Bob Geldof have done? Tell me. What a wonderful man he is, though. I mean, one person who's actually a sir, who deserves to be a sir. Another one, George Michael, who was giving to charity and didn't want the public or the media to know about it. And it only came out after he died. That's what I respect, when these people don't do it for the cameras. When you do it for the cameras, you're doing it for the cameras. It's like all these fuckers who cry in front of the camera, right? You know it's bullshit. No one genuinely cries in front of the camera. Although I'm being a hypocrite here, because I have cried a couple of times on camera on this channel, and I was being genuine. But mostly these people are just doing it for views. I'm being a hypocrite, though. But I am a hypocrite. There's a bit of hypocrisy in all of us. When I see people crying, I definitely think it's fake. If you're watching this video and you like me and you like what you see and you think, oh, this guy's good looking, why don't you press the like? Smash the like, subscribe, share the video, share the channel, and let's get some footfall in this gaff. How can an awesome individual like me not be more popular? Come on. I just don't want to pay for marketing. Right, everyone, we're going to call it a day. You are updated with all your entertainment news and gossip. You know what's going on. You know that Margot Robbie could be directing Gotham City Sirens. You know Doctor Who could be having a couple of specials in 2022 to build up the 60th anniversary. Very exciting. You now know my opinions on Doctor Who. If you're a Doctor Who fan, please subscribe. I adore Doctor Who. And if we do get more Doctor Who fans in here, I'll do more Doctor Who-centric videos and topics and conversations. I am live in the morning for the Big Mouth Daily Live. It's an entertainment news update video, and then I stream live from 6:30 p.m. UK time. Check your local times where we do a live stream and we chat and things like that and answer your questions. Emmanuel Cruz, do you think Cyborg could cameo? In the Flash, yes. It doesn't look like Ray Fisher, but you know, anything's possible. So I wouldn't totally write that off, but it could be the guy from Doom Patrol or a new actor. That will be interesting. But yeah, nothing with a multiverse strategy, Emmanuel, there is never, ever anything off the table. I don't want to hear anyone saying that's not possible, that's not possible. The whole reason they've done a multiverse strategy so they get everything that everybody's loved from the past, present, and they can put it in there and bring more people to these movies. It's a very great, it's a fantastic business strategy, if you ask me, and nobody was. But you did ask me about Cyborg being in the Flash, and I answered that question. I'll just stick around for a few more seconds in case anyone's got some questions for me. I'm a bit ahead of schedule today because there really wasn't any articles to read apart from a couple, and there's not much news out there. We've covered everything with DC as well, so we're really updated now. But if you do want to ask me anything before I sign off, you are more than welcome. Don't be shy. I won't bite unless you ask me to. My name is Mick. I'm very friendly. Obviously, if you're not very nice to me, I'm not very friendly. Emmanuel Cruz, do you see Ezra new haircut for the movie? Oh, did I see it? No, apparently he's got longer hair, though. I didn't see it. Again, if anyone's got that picture, please put it on my timeline. I would very much appreciate seeing it, because obviously that's the hairstyle he's going to have. Very interesting. He could have longer hair for when he goes back in time and when he saves his mum and then he creates his new universe. Maybe for some reason he's got longer hair. Maybe he's been there for so long, like being stranded on a desert island, and maybe there's a time jump on it as well. Maybe he's got, I don't know. That's an interesting take. I don't really know why he would have longer hair otherwise. But if anyone's got a picture of his haircut today and what he looks like today, because he's doing the film right now, I would absolutely love to see that. Right, I'm giving you 2 minutes, about 2 minutes to ask me some questions. If it's still dead in here, I'm going to go. But there are 5 people in watching right now. I don't think they'll stay watching, but, because there's floaters, isn't there? You always wonder when there's more people on the chat than just talking. I always wonder who they are, who's watching. Could it be a celebrity? Could it be the Queen? Could it be Meghan Markle? Or Prince William's wife? Real man here, right? Nobody needs to know. Taylor Swift. Britney Spears. Whoops, we did it again. Right, everyone, I'm going to sign off. It looks like that you lot are done with me for today. Well, not for today. I will be back from 6:30 p.m. UK time. Check your local times for Big Mouth Live. Prepare your questions. Think about what you want to talk about tonight, unless there's something breaking. If you find out something that I haven't yet, please let me know. When I put up the link on Twitter, come onto the chat straight away and start talking straight away, and I will always respond to you. Don't wait until I go live, because that can build up the anticipation, and it's very, very exciting. So if you're rewatching this, comment down below. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And by the way, if you follow my main TikTok, I'm actually banned. Yeah, the bastards finally got me banned, but I am over on Big Mouth 222, so I'm still on TikTok. They'll never get rid of me. I always find a way through it. I did nothing wrong apart from make a joke on that sex education Netflix series I did a Stitch, and basically they're all crying. So I have done a little video. I've done a little dance with it. You ain't nothing but a hound dog crying all the time, doing that about TikTok, because all these, they take themselves so seriously, don't they? You try and make some jokes, you try and make people happy, and people just get offended. It's such a pathetic society we live in today. Anyway, I will see you later on. Big Mouth Live, 6:30 p.m. UK time. Check your local times. I will be back then. Until then, check me on my other socials. See you later. Goodbye.